Good morning, class. Today is September 23rd, so this is our week number 5, and basically we close already chapter number 3, which is all about logic, and we are just in module number 3, which is personal finance. Chapter 8. Okay, last week, besides to cover the final part for logic, that was section 3.6 and 3.7. Do you remember 3.7? Which is very important because it was about arguments and fallacies and all that stuff. We start module number 3 about personal finance with sections 8.1 and 8.3, right? Which is basically the introduction of percents and simple interest transactions. Well, this week, what we are going to start covering is, instead of using simple interest transaction, we are going to introduce something that is a little bit more complex, another type of transaction, which is the compound interest. And the compound interest have several subtopics, because the compound interest is going to be subdivided according with the time frame that you use or set for that particular transaction. Can be annually, semi-annually, monthly, bi-monthly. So you're going to see the details over there. Okay, so in the first half of this week, we will cover compound interest and also another type of transaction that is really close related to compound interest, that is called annuities and annual yield. Okay, and also we are going to talk about another type of investment or savings that are very, very common for you guys. That is the IRA, and that is quite related with your 401k, I'm sorry. That is for your retirement, and also another type of investment like the ones that you may find in the stock markets, which is the bonds, basically. So we are going to cover this in the first 3 days of this week. So from today, Monday, September 23, all the way down to probably Wednesday, September 25. Okay, we are going to cover these 2 points, these 2 sections, 8.4, 8.5. Then I will make available for you the final part of personal finance that is related to mortgages and cars. Okay? And when I say here cars, is the type of transaction where you request in a dealership, when you request just a loan to buy or purchase a car. So in which you're going to make a down payment and then you're going to pay the rest of the balance of the cost of your cars in, I don't know, in a transaction of 24 months, 48 months, and 65 months. Those are the more common that you can find in the market. Okay, so we're going to discuss about those ones. And with those ones, of course, during this week, we're going to close this module number 3 about personal finance. Okay, so this is what we are going to cover from the instructional material. Okay, where can you find that instructional material? There is something that I'm going to tell you right away, but just let me finish in here. This week, we're going to have the second sectional test about chapter number 3. Remember, chapter number 3 is a very long chapter with concepts that are, I would say, a little bit challenged, right? So please try to close that chapter as soon as you can. Actually, the homework for the final part for the final part of that chapter is due today. Okay, so remember that. So this homework number 4 and quiz number 4 are due today before the end of the day. And then on Wednesday, let me see here. Yes, this coming Wednesday, I'm gonna make available for you, and you're gonna have 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, to take the test regarding this chapter number 3. Okay, so please be aware of that, and remember what I told you in one of my previous videos, that for sure you're gonna find in this test one question that has to do with fallacies. Remember what fallacy is. Fallacy is an invalid argument, and we have a list of different type of fallacies. Actually, I believe so that yesterday I gave you one video in which I was giving some further details about some type of a specific fallacy, which is the strongman fallacy. Okay, so try to watch that video. So one question in your test for sure you're gonna have about fallacies. So what I'm going to give you is a test, or probably a short video in there, in which an argument is present, somebody is going to reply to that argument, and then you know that the person who's going to reply to the argument is going to provide an invalid argument, so you need to identify what type of fallacy we are considering in that discussion. That's basically that question. So you're going to have that question for sure. What else do we have this week? Well, this week also I'm going to introduce the board discussion number 2, which is going to be about chapter number 8. In here, the due date is September 30. Probably I'm going to give you a little bit more of time. So please try to check D12 for any announcement that I can do in that regards, okay? So, okay, now let's go to the content. The content in here for what we're gonna cover this week. Let me go to content. So now we are in module number 3. Last week, we covered sections 1 and 3, as I mentioned before, for chapter 8. The material is there. You got your homework number 4 and quiz number 4 here. You have the super links to display that. Well, I hope that you opened those one already, because that is due today. But for this week, you have sections 8.4 and 8.5. Basically, this is about compound interest and annuities. Okay, so as usual, you have the lecture in here. You have the notes. In notes, let me open the notes very quickly. I strongly suggest to go through this exercise of the notes, because those exercises, I took those one from your textbook, but I choose, at least for instance, this one is because I want you guys to get accustomed with the formula for compound interest when you have different type of transaction for compound interest. You're going to learn in your lecture that the compound interest is subdivided as the type of time frame that you choose to make that transaction. So that is going to be annually, it might be annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, and daily. And for each one of these compounds time frame transaction, you have different forms of the formula for the compound interest. That's what I want you guys to practice. So in your lecture, I'm giving to you a general formula that you need to change according with the time frame that you are using. Okay, so I want you to have to get a lot of practice how to manipulate the formula for compound interest according with the time frame that you might choose for that compound interest transaction. That is one of the things, that's why I put it here, this exercise, because I want you just to set up your formula anytime that you're going to make this type of exercise. At least what I suggest to you is make one of each one. So one of annually, semi-annually, and so on. Okay? Then, in this one, we introduce something that is called the annual yield. Annual yield is a concept that is quite related to compound transaction and also a simple interest transaction. So, what are the type of rate and time frame that I need to choose in order to make equals the simple interest transaction with the compound transaction? That is basically that concept. So in these two exercises, you can practice or access those kind of concepts. So this is, remember, the notes is always an introductory exercise that I suggest in order to be prepared for going with the homework and quizzes, right? And this one is about some another type of transaction. Those are related with stocks. Okay, so this is also taken from your textbook. And what I want with this exercise is just to make you familiar with the type of nomenclature that you are going to find when you look at the marketplace related to stocks. So there are names there, okay, that you might say, well, what is this? So what I want you guys is to get familiar with those kinds of nomenclature in the stock web market. Well, this is about the nodes, okay? So you have here the chapter, the lecture, you have the notes, of course, as you know, sometime on Wednesday or Thursday, I will make available for you guys the keys for this one. Also, you have a questionnaire. This is just to help you to prepare for the corresponding sectional test that we're going to have in the future. Okay, about chapter number 8. So this questionnaire involves several exercises about sections 1, 3, 4, and 5. So you have here the questionnaire, you have here the keys already available for you, and also I suggest some videos as usual. There is a video. This is a very long video that I made a lot of time ago. This is not mandatory to watch that video, but it's almost 2 hours video. I'm not going to ask you to really watch all this video because it's very long, in which I go through several exercises from these different sections. Okay, most of those exercises are taken from the questionnaire that I showed you before. And what I do is just to break down the solution for each one of the exercise, not each one, but some of the selected exercise from that questionnaire. So what you can do, as I suggest here, is, well, if you are reviewing, let's say, section 8.3, try to look for, in that video, exercise related to section 8.3 and try to just to watch that portion. And then when you're going to move to another section, you can come back to the video and check whatever exercise you are interested with. Okay? And this one is also a video that I made about the concept of annual yield. And in this particular one here, what I do is just to break down one exercise of annual yield. So, again, those videos are not mandatory to be watched, but it's just to complement your instructional material and to help you with those ones. Okay, well, this is what is available for you guys in at this moment for module number 3. As the week is going to progress, I will make available for you whatever have to do with sections 6 and 7, which is cars and mortgage. But that is going to be for Thursday, Friday, and the rest of the week. Some moment today, and please, my apologies for that I know post yet that, but at some moment you're gonna have available here the master links for homework and quiz number 5. I'm gonna make that homework and that quiz available for you later today. Okay, so this is gonna be given here. Now, from my side, what is my commitment with you guys for this week? Let me just remove this view and go to mine. Okay, so what I owe you guys is to give you the grades for one of the bonus points that I include to complement the first sectional test. Okay, I put it here, this assignment in D12 that I call bonus points set theory. This is just to help you with your grades in the first sectional test. And the other thing that I'm going to finish to give feedbacks and so on, and to correct and give you all the grades are for the first discussion. I have some of them that I need to review in here, actually a lot of them that I need to review. So that is something that I'm going to do between today and early tomorrow. So let's say by Tuesday or early on Wednesday, you're going to be able to see in your grade book, you're going to be able to see all these grades, no? Related to this one with some feedback and so on. What else I want to tell you in here? Nothing. Just be aware that in the middle of this week, you guys are going to have the second sectional test about your chapter number 3, which is logic. Okay. In that test, most likely that you're gonna find about 10 exercise, probably a little bit lower than that, because I understand that some of those exercises in chapter 3 are very long. I need to check. Okay, I need to check what I'm going to do for this test. But I strongly suggest to take a look of this video. Okay, guys. Well, this is all what I have for you guys today as an update for September 23rd. Thank you. This is our week number 5. Thank you.